Here we go. Welcome and hello to you all. Another edition of the Eric Zane Show podcast has begun for the 1,181st time, I believe. Pretty sure that's correct. So glad you are here. Thanksgiving Eve. Excuse me. As it is. Well, that's what it is. It's the day before Thanksgiving. Undeniably big task for your old pal EZ. The change your life, slaughter the Turks. Sweet potatoes have to be made. The Slaughter the Turks mashed potato recipe featuring a blend. Blusset. I combined russet and blend to give you blusset. A blend of Yukon Gold, and russet. You must blend. Do not just go a 10-pound bag of russet. You're going to have a shit bag, starchy mess on your hands. Blend your mashed potatoes. Okay? I've given you the Slaughter the Turks mashed potato recipe many times. I will, unless I forget, which does happen, include it in the show notes. Easy with the challenge of making gravy minus any turkey drippings. Typically, which is kind of gross, really, when you think about it. The turkey cooks, and then you scoop up all of the disease that drips off of it in the bottom of the pan to make a delicious gravy. That sounds horrible. Easily done without the turkey drippings, though. How? Well, you have to toast your flour, and you have to melt a lot of butter. That becomes your turkey drippings. Delectable and amazing. You must continue to work that flour, though. If you let it sit still, it's going to toast to the point where it's burnt. It's going to taste like shit. Don't be an asshole and burn your flour. Today, in the show notes of this audio podcast, you will also get the Slaughter the Turks no turkey drippings turkey gravy. I'll also include the sweet potatoes. Some of you sick psychopaths think that the sweet potatoes are horrible. Mine are candy. They are ridiculous. Ryan, welcome back. Apparently, I don't know who comes or goes on here, but I see people like, well, we've missed you, Ryan. So Ryan's been busy or he hates me. I don't know, but here he is. No, he says this week with work has sucked. Ryan says, I love listening to Big Fraud talk about all these damn recipes and cooking. You'd probably be a goddamn Michelin star chef if you had your own restaurant. Think of the possibilities. Big Fraud, surf and turf. Without a doubt. I know I could pull that off. I have people in my own household tell me that. Saturday, we did the chicken marsala. Oh, my God. I have never done this in my life, but add this to the list of great Eric Zane Show podcast, Slaughter the Turks recipes. I'll add the chicken marsala recipe in the show notes here. Now, I didn't know anything about this. Marsala is the wine that you add. Okay? First of all, I've got this cool-ass device I've talked about that dices and slices my food, my vegetables. Oh, my God, I love that. Fucking so sweet. I started the day off with a pound of green beans that I sliced lengthwise to become French cut. This is key. Very important to French cut those green beans because then they cook better. There's less to cook. They're more tender. They're better. This recipe is perfect because you just French cut the green beans, and then you add one shallot, which is a onion on steroids. So much more flavor in shallots than onions, in my opinion. They're a bitch to cut because they will burn your eyes. Pro tip, if you ever cut up an onion, get a paper towel and get it so it's almost dripping with water. Okay? Ball it up, put water on it, and then set it on the cutting board. I don't know what fucking voodoo is happening there. But if you then put the onion next to it and do your choppy, what would paralyze you with burning pain is greatly reduced or gone altogether, depending on the strength of the onion. I don't know how it works, but it does. Saw it on TikTok or some shit. It's legendary. It is now my idea. I came up with it. You take the thinly sliced shallots, mix it with the beans. You add, what the fuck? Wait a minute. I forgot how to do this. I've only done it once. It doesn't matter. It turns out fantastic. It's so simple. I will leave the recipe in the show notes because you got to have green beans with your chicken marsala. You take the flour, you throw it in a bag. You take freshly ground pepper, you throw it in the same bag with the salt. That's it. These chicken breasts, you have to, you know how like they're so damn thick because they just pump so many amazing steroids into chickens these days? And thank God. Thank God they do. They're ridiculous. You get these Arnold Schwarzenegger pecs chicken breasts, and you cut them in half lengthwise to make them less thick. And then you get a meat hammer and you pound the chicken down to like a 1/4 inch. Throw the chicken in the bag, and then you just shake them like shake and bake. You get that shit coated with flour, and then you're going to fry those chicken breasts in oil and butter, extra virgin olive oil and butter, and till they're just done. Okay, now if you cook them more than they need to, chicken breasts, there's a fine line between awesome and big pile of shit. Chicken has a tendency to, you get it 1 degree over what it's supposed to be cooked at, and it turns into no flavor, dry as dick, and it's awful. You just barely cook it till it's done, but it's done. Pull it off the heat. Then you're going to add everything else like the mushrooms, more butter, garlic, more shallots. You got to make this chicken broth. You got to put the chicken broth in there. You got to put the Marsala wine. All right. And then you cook it up, add the chicken, and voila, you have chicken Marsala. Chris says, that's why I use chicken thighs. Yeah, I get that. But if you use chicken breasts smashed thin and cook them appropriately, they're an absolute must. My God. How the hell did I get on this topic? Speaking of cooking, I am really becoming impressed with my son-in-law, Justin. Yesterday was Tuesday, Thanksgiving. You know, you have this scenario where my daughter and my son-in-law are going to they have to divide and conquer, not divide and conquer, but like last year they were here for Thanksgiving. So this year they go up to Justin's family for Thanksgiving. So we did it on Tuesday. And this dude is just killing it. Jackie does not cook. This is becoming a thing in more and more households. You know, years ago, that was the stereotype, that the lady stays home and cooks. Now it's whoever does it, you know, whoever just happens to like it the most, I guess. It doesn't have anything to do with someone's gender. It's just who feels like doing it. I get great enjoyment out of hours and hours in a kitchen. I love it. I really enjoy it. Even like being a fry cook at Bosco's, the young ladies who are the servers, they actually on their own brought up in front of me and Doug, and this I think made Doug butthurt, that Eric's fries actually are better than Doug's fries. Now, the only thing different is who's preparing them. It's the same fry. It's the same oil. Heat cooks them. What could possibly be different? Well, me. And I swear to God, this is critical. When you pull the fries from the fryer, you have about 10 seconds to shake, get excess oil off. They're still wet with the oil, which is going to leave in seconds. You put them into this big metal bowl. Time is of the essence. If you wait too long and put the salt on, the sea salt, you sprinkle it on with your fingers, those fries have to be still damp with hot oil, which is either going to evaporate or go into the fry. You need the sea salt to hit the hot oil, which it then, on a very small level, if you could watch under a microscope, it's going to dissolve the salt and then just get incorporated into the fry. Subtle, but perfect. Otherwise, if you're an asshole and you let it just hang there, salt them later. Yeah, you throw the salt in, it just bounces off the fry and goes, fuck you. Okay? In addition, the metal bowl has a lot of leftover salt from an oily salt from the previous batch. You put the fries into the bowl and you swirl so the first fries that hit the bowl are getting salted. Sprinkle on top, then you toss them. You flip them into the air. They tumble back into the bowl. More swirly swirl. Toss, swirl, toss, swirl. Flippy, flippy. Boom. Put them up on top of the hot oven. You're waiting for about another minute and a half before the burger is done. Put the hot burger on the bun. Assemble the burger. Put a toothpick through it. Put the fries onto the platter. Order! Boom. Perfect. Oh, my God. You have to do it this way. You cannot wait to salt the fries. Thank you to Ben. He knows. Not salting right away is worse than a rookie mistake. It's unacceptable behavior and must be corrected, he writes. First he wrote, just be corrected. He pulled a Kenny. Ryan says, there's nothing worse than biting into a fry that was cooked with old, smelly-ass cooking oil. I'll give Doug credit on this. He changes the oil in those fryers a lot. Okay? Your dining experience is perfect at Bosco's if I'm cooking the fries. Anyway. Excuse me. Go to Justin's yesterday. Justin and Jackie's. He's making this Thanksgiving feast. I'm walking up the drive, and the smoker is in the driveway. Now, this is one of those smokers that are made by, like, Traeger, which are just the shit. You just throw the food on, and then you take, like, a scoop of, like, these pellets. It's like dog food. And you just throw them into the thing, and then you just walk away and leave it alone. And I go, all right, smoker's out. I got to see if there's anything in there. Because if the turkey is in there, we have trouble. Because that food needs to rest. And that means we're not going to eat till like 9 p.m. I open it up, no turkey. I go, yes. All right. Green arrow or green check mark. Green arrow. Remember Green Arrow? Anyway. What the fuck was that? go walking in, and the turkey looks ridiculously perfect. I go, what's going on here, Justin? I just got it out. It's resting. I'm like, yes. Green check mark number 2. I said, what have you done? Spatchcock. Now, I've heard that term, but I go, the what? Spatchcock the turkey. I don't know who came up with the idea. But then there's a reason why you do it. The only thing I can think is it helps it cook more evenly, because you actually flip the bird over and you take a knife and you cut out its backbone. And you pull it out like fucking Predator and you throw it away. And then you flip it over and then you push on the breast, and it's the turkey's wings and legs go out. All right? You're basically mutilating the corpse. Spatchcock is what it's called. Don't know why. I couldn't remember what it was called. So I looked it up today, and it's I thought it was splatcock. This is what it looked like, but it was cooked. That is a spatchcock turkey. Throw that thing on the Traeger. I go, what did you season it with? And he pulls out the season. I go, oh, buddy, this is going to be good. I go, you have done it. Hilarious moment because, the potato recipe, the mashed potatoes were in like a Pyrex 9x13 or whatever, as opposed to like a bowl of potatoes, mashed potatoes. And it looked like they had been baked. And I said, what is this potato recipe? And he goes, mashed potatoes. They all laughed. Ha ha, fuck you, dumbass. EZ made the green bean casserole here. In fact, on the Patreon bonus podcast, a timer went off while I was doing the podcast. I had to run downstairs, pull them out of the oven, and put the, what do you call it? French's fried onions on top of it. Put it back in, come up here, finish the podcast. Takes a village. We crushed it. My God. It was absolutely incredible. You know, there's still some rookie things that are part of his repertoire. Like he just took a jar of gravy and just dumped it into a thing. I was like, hey, that'll work. That'll work. You took care of, sometimes you can't have a murderer's row lineup. I mean, I do have a murderer's row lineup when it comes to what we eat at this house. All right. But, 1 through 9 being all deadly threats at the plate is very, very rare. Occasionally you'll have a 7, 8, 9 hitter who's a fucking Tom Brookins or Larry Herndon, kind of a rally killer when you get to that spot in the line. I mean, top half, you can have Sweet Lou, Alan Trammell, Gibby, Lance Parrish, Darrell Evans, whatever. Maybe throw in Chester Lemon, and with a pitching staff like Jack Morris, Dan Petrie, and Willie Hernandez to close it out. Which rest in peace, Willie Hernandez. Yeah. Now, if you're my age and you grew up following baseball, I don't follow it now, but I did back in the day. The Detroit Tigers in 1984 started out the year 35-5. Fuck. That's like one quarter of the schedule. And they lost 5 fucking games. They coast through the rest of the season. Fucking, they're 2 months into the regular season, and the playoffs are over. Actually, Toronto did challenge them to some degree because I think the Tigers, after they started out 35-5, I think they just hung out and did cocaine and just, I think they finished like 20 games over 500. Well, that team had this relief pitcher named Willie Hernandez who kind of didn't do shit for his the first 6-7 years of his career until he got to Detroit. And then he has this one particular year, 1984, when his ERA is like 1.9 as a relief pitcher closer, 32 saves. The guy's just lights out. If you bring in Hernandez to close out the game, it's over. Amanda says, I thought we were talking about food. Yeah, I know. You're probably going to shut it off now. Well, he's dead. He died yesterday. They didn't say how he died. By the way, he turned into a real asshole. After a couple solid years with the Tigers, he started to go downhill. And you know how it is with fucking sports fans. They hate your guts. Fuck, they booed the Lions in that last game against the Bears. They were booing, what's his name? Jared Goff. By the way, Ryan says, I would appreciate it if you only read Amanda comments in Amanda impression. Big fraud. Amanda then adds, I'm thinking about shutting your show off, but not because you're talking about food, but because you're talking about sports. What a simpleton, first of all. Let me just say, if you're the type of idiot who says, look, I have a gift. You need to understand that. I can take anything, fucking anything, and make it interesting. Anything. It doesn't matter what it is. If I'm talking about it, it's going to be interesting. I can't do anything else well. But the one thing I know how to do is tell a fucking story and try to make it amusing at some point. And I can't predict when or how it's going to happen, but it always does. It always does. It always works out. But Ryan wants me to read this in your voice. Hey, I'm thinking about shutting this off. Not because you're talking about food, but because you're talking about sports. The fuck is wrong with you? What kind of an asshole does that? Like if I'm watching, let's say I'm watching Monday Night Football and Peyton Manning is annoying me. I know that eventually I'm going to start liking him again. Okay? Here, I'm not going to give you the opportunity to quit. I'm just going to give you 600 seconds because you're such a moron. Eat that, you fucking idiot. You Brahma Bull dickhead. Shut up. Cole says, what if you talked about Central Michigan Women's Club hockey? That's sports, kind of. Get the fuck out of here. I don't need your bullshit today, you drama queen dick face. Fuck me. Tyler says Eric is the best at two things, making fries and making things interesting. And there are no fries to be made this morning, dipshit. Thank you, Tyler. It's like she says, I really want to get yelled at today. I'll say anything at all. You know, I think if you look at the long storied careers of the most annoying people in the history of this show, now I'm not talking about former Zaniacs. That was its own era. Of this era, it's no surprise that the most annoying person here, Amanda, is actually still somewhat former Zaniac. I mean, she still reaches out to these people and narcs me out. Everybody knows it. And it was always a dogfight between one of the two in the gruesome twosome, Kenny and Amanda. But Amanda has been consistently more annoying as of late. And I think that if you look in the history of the averages, she's starting to edge out our other belly buster pal, Kenny. Kenny is actually, her idiocy is making Kenny more lovable. God damn, are you a fucking weirdo? Shut up. God damn. Bob says I was working and miss what Eric is mad at him. Okay. Yeah, it's a long story. Just go back. Just, don't worry about it. It's gone. The moment is gone. Tyler says, shall we update the Mount Rushmore of annoying? Yeah, I think we should. You can only have 4 spots. On the far left is Amanda's face. Next to that, Amanda's ass. Next to that, Amanda's unbelievably cartoonishly large boobs. And then Kenny. That's the way the world is right now. I'm not going to listen because you're talking about something that doesn't interest me. These are the things I'm interested in. Fried, broiled, sauteed, noodles. I can't think of any other foods. Fuck. There's nothing that pisses me off more than an idiot who is sitting there saying, yeah, and it's such a fucking myopic view of the world. Yeah, I'm not interested in what you're interested in, what you're actually doing. I'm just going to sit here and tell you this sucks, and I'm going to tell you that I'm going to turn this off, as opposed to just being quiet and waiting. Now look what you've done. Look what you have done. My God. All right. I've punched myself out. Today, you know what? I should have updated you on my father. My dad, I talked to Dad yesterday, and I think he might have forgotten that he has COVID. He picks it up. Hello? Sounds maybe a little raspy. I go, hey, Dad, how are you? He goes, fine. And everything's like inflecting up. Like he's wondering what I'm calling for in the middle of the day. Fine. How's everything there? Good. Feeling okay? Yeah. Why? Oh, just checking in on you. Oh. Yeah, I'm good. Oh. Okay. I love you. I love you too, honey. Calls me honey. Okay. Well, I'll be seeing you. No, I won't be seeing you. I didn't say that because I won't be seeing him because he's got COVID. I'm thinking about, by the way, tomorrow driving by his house and rolling down the window and saying, hey, how you doing? Just to see him, Thanksgiving. And so it was all really short. And I was confident that he was upright. Okay, well, I'll talk to you. Okay, okay, honey. Bye-bye. Amanda, is this okay, by the way? Is okay that I'm talking about this? I want to make sure that this isn't something that doesn't, bother you or annoy you. Ah, this fun. Can I eat your dad? Hang up. No, Joanne. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? How come I didn't hear from Joanne in the background? Text my sister/stepsister, Sue. Sue, what's up? We talked to them today. Yeah, I talked to my mom. I actually said, how's your mom? Yeah, we're pretty sure she has it. She got a fever, headache. She feels like shit. Now it's, God damn it. Okay, so I'm talking about this, and, I obviously don't sound desperate or overly concerned. By the end of the day yesterday, Joanne was feeling better, from what I understand. So keeping a close eye, communicating with these people, and making sure everything's on the up and up. So I'll keep you posted as best as I can. Honestly, if it's only good news, I'm going to communicate that. If it's suddenly bad news, I can't even begin to wrap my mind around that right now. But, keep them in your thoughts, please. I had no less than 3 people in the last 12 hours suggest to me that I need to watch a documentary called Bye Bye Barry, which is about the unexpected retirement of Barry Sanders. I need to watch the trailer. It is on, I don't think I've watched this with you yet. It is on Amazon Prime. I will never forget when I first saw that guy carry the ball. It was at a time in my life when I had just started college, and I wasn't really following anything Lions related. At the time, there were 2 things that I was really involved in: drinking and vagina. All right? I had just met Diana, and my God, it was a fucking nuclear reaction. The amount of times a day that we would bone was just ridiculous. 3-4 times a day. I didn't even go to class. I would just bone. And she was over 21, so I wasn't. I was 18. She would buy me booze. She would buy me cases of Busch and Budweiser, and I just drink beer, go down, drink beer, just crazy, ridiculous. That's all I did. I had no idea who Barry Sanders was. Didn't know anything where he played college. Didn't even know he won the Heisman Trophy. Linda says, how did you get the privacy if you were in the dorms? If there's a will, there's a way. So in the dorms at Sweeney, there would be these lofts. You build a loft in your room. And there was like a curtain around it. Hey, we're going up to take a nap. Her roommates are in the room below the loft, like 6 feet away. And we're going to Pound Town. I'm surprised that it didn't start raining through the mattress on them. It was basically like group sex. It was ridiculous. Anyway. So, I don't know anything about this fucking Barry Sanders. And then I saw him run the ball, and I went, what is this? What planet is this guy from? And I was instantly hooked. And then, like 9 years into the career, he suddenly retires. That's it. No more. How? Why? What happened? And as I understand it, when he retired, he sent a facsimile. And it just rolled in on the curly paper and said, hey, see you later.
We'll never see somebody like Barry Sanders again.
It was lightning from the first snap that he took. Because of that, Detroiters were just all in.
For this second, he's here, and then 1,001, he's not here anymore. He's over there, and you're tackling air.
Normal joints don't move the way Barry Sanders' joints move. I'm sorry.
How do you juke people, get to the end zone, and just give the ball to the ref?
He's so humble, and it's real.
He just wanted to play football.
This guy did something special every single Sunday.
He gave Detroit a sense of hope that the city desperately needed.
It's a privilege to be one of the players that will help restore the roar.
Ryan Sanders, Detroit is back!
We had the greatest running back that ever played the game.
But then
Something happened.
Shocking announcement has thousands of fans feeling flustered.
Barry Sanders will retire, not with the press conference, but with a statement.
He sends a fax.
Fax machine?
Everybody's trying to figure out why.
What the F are you doing?
Was Barry frustrated playing for a losing team?
Is this a bargaining ploy?
My dad was opinionated.
It was tough to experience that.
he would tell Barry he'll never be better than Jim Brown.
He was affected by guys who got hurt.
Or his teammates suffer serious injuries.
Nobody walks away at the peak of their powers like this. There has to be something else.
Marker?
Oh, my God. And I don't know that there is. I mean, I haven't seen it, and no one's spoiled it for me yet. But, fuck, he's just a different cat. The guy, in my opinion, without seeing this, and I may be wrong. Some of you have already seen it. I know Linda saw it. I think he's just it wasn't nearly as important as it was for everybody else. I don't know if it was that important for him. I know that the records weren't important to him. I mean, there was a time when he could have won the single season rushing title, and there was another running back by the name, I think Christian Okoye is who it was, the Nigerian Nightmare, and all Barry had to do was go ahead and get a couple of yards, and he'd have won the rushing title. He goes, fuck it, I don't give a shit. And then the whole Walter Payton deal, as I understand it, he didn't really care to break Walter Payton's record. It actually let him have it. He was that guy. He was just motivated by backing down and not, it's just fucking very cool. 1 in a million, really. Very subtle, soft-spoken, sweet. Never see that guy frustrated. And I think that one of the other things that, this is my theory, is that we had this coach by the name of Bobby Ross at the time, the Lions. And he fucking sucked. Okay? And I think that I think he kind of was like, you know what? I don't need this shit. I don't need to worry about this. I don't need to play for this dick. Fuck him. I am out. So there you go. I can't wait to watch that. Son of a bitch. Yeah, that team was ridiculous because the Lions had a lot of fantastic players, and they couldn't do shit. Chris says Wayne Fontes was coaching Barry. Not at the end. At the end, it was Bobby Ross. And my prediction is part of that, at the end of that tenure, he was like, oh, boy, I can't handle this guy. I think he was more like a drill sergeant. Fontes was like, he would come in and go, Barry, hey, Barry, how are you, Barry? You ready to play? Barry's like, yeah. Okay, I'm going to go do some cocaine, and the game plan is we're just going to give you the ball whenever you call for it. I love you, Barry. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, Barry. Thumbs up. I love Barry Sanders, baby. Kent writes, there's a point that will infuriate you when you hear what quarterbacks wanted to go play with Barry and Fonts. Yeah, the Lions had, goddamn, when Barry was playing, you had Rodney Peete, Andre Ware, Eric Kramer, Scott Mitchell. Scott Mitchell was such an asshole that the nicest guy ever, Lomas Brown, one of the offensive linemen, he admitted years later that he so disliked Scott Mitchell that he tipped off the defense that, hey, I'm going to let you through. Go and smash his fucking face in. And Mitchell, he did, and Mitchell got injured in the play. And, hold up. Timeout. Hey, where are you? Okay. This is why I got to interrupt myself because I got a feeling Darla's going to take a dump. So hold that thought. I got to go pass her off to Diana, who's here. She's here. Okay. To make Bob Galliano. There's a name from the past. Let's see. Chris D. Who, by the way, Chris got the Hillsborough reference the other day that Blue State Rob made, just keeping score. Let's see. Just sent you Twitter about Mitchell. He's a loose cannon talking about the documentary. LOL. I don't see it. Send it again or send it an email. I have no idea. I'll come back to it. I'm excited about that. That should be a fantastic watch. Maureen says, good news, Linda. Barry is single. We need to go to some MSU basketball games and stalk him. Linda, I guess, is on the prowl. She saw the documentary, and she wants Barry Sanders to be your next husband. Jesus. All right. So we're off and rolling on this, the day before Thanksgiving. I will have to watch Bye Bye Barry while laying in bed tonight. That's what I'll do. After making 20 pounds of Eric Zane Show podcast Slaughter the Turks mashed potatoes. After making the gravy. After making the sweet potatoes. Busting my ass in the kitchen. Haul that shit all the way across the state tomorrow morning. And over to Charity Scam Mike's house to be there before kickoff at 12:30. Lions and the Packers. I don't take anything for granted with this football team. There's been so many ridiculous years of frustration that I just hold my breath in every game. I have decided that I'm so invested that I don't even like close games. Okay? I want every game to be like 65-0. My brain is just ruined from all the years of abuse. It's PTSD. It really is. This fucking team, where they've done well this year, But I'm still just, as much as I've been on the bandwagon and loving the Lions, even when they were shitty. Oh, boy. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for something bad to happen. Could this be a long con? God. And if not, let's just say Dan Campbell and the Lions do it all and win the Super Bowl. Can you imagine what Dan Campbell would be able to do in this state? He could walk into any restaurant and say, "Feed me." If he turned into an asshole, he could just go, "Bitches suck." And women would be one would be have his balls like in their mouth. Another one would be on his penis. It's remarkable. He could walk into a bank and say, "Money." And they just throw it at him. "Take our money. Take it." He will be able to do anything. He would instantaneously become the most popular legend in the history of Detroit sports. He would push aside Barry Sanders. He would push aside Gordie Howe, Jack Morris. I never did finish my story about Willie Hernandez because Rhino Face Amanda fucked it all up. But I was going somewhere with a remarkable story about this guy. After the great year with the Tigers, he had like maybe one, possibly two decent years, and then he started to play shitty. And the fans started to boo him. At about that time, Mitch Albom, of all people, had referred to him as a crybaby in a column for the Free Press. 11 months later, he is sitting on a bench in the dugout, in the dugout, talking to former Tiger pitcher Frank Tanana. One-on-one interview, and he's, I don't know if it's audio or if he's taking notes to write a column. Hernandez has remembered the jersey number, and he wants revenge. This is 11 months later. He gets a big fucking Gatorade jug full of ice water and dumps it on Mitch Albom from behind, just like dumps it on him. And Mitch goes, "What the fuck is that?" And Hernandez says, "Fuck you, motherfucker." And so that was it. He did that. And so Mitch didn't say anything. He probably would get killed. But that's how bitter that guy was. It wasn't long after that. He then, you know what Willie Hernandez wanted to do to try to change things up? Here he is, a fucking 40-year-old man. He marches up to the where the PA announcer is at Old Tiger Stadium. And just before the game's about to start, he bursts in. He goes, "Hey, I no longer am to be known as Willie. You have to refer to me now when I come into the game as Guillermo. I am now Guillermo Hernandez." And then he goes walking into Ernie Hart. "Hey, how are you there, Willie? Hey, how you doing there? Yeah, fuck you. I'm no longer Willie. I'm Guillermo." He wanders over to where Al Kaline and George Kellogg. "Hey, fuckface, Guillermo." So they had to call him Guillermo from that point forward. That's when you really know that it's over, when you change your name. What a fucking child. Well, anyway, he's dead. 69 years old. May he rest in peace. Aha. I see it now, Chris. The article reads, ex-Lions quarterback Scott Mitchell goes on wild rant over Barry Sanders documentary. But I click on it, and all I see is a picture. Okay, there it is. Let's see. I might want to get to this now. I just watched Bye Bye Barry on Amazon Prime, Mitchell wrote in a lengthy Facebook rant, as first reported by the Detroit News. It was not a very pleasant experience. I was Barry Sanders' teammate for 5 years. I had a front row seat to some of the most amazing plays in NFL history, Scott Mitchell writes. Is this okay, Amanda? He will never have an equal as a pure runner in the NFL. I could argue that there were several running backs that were more complete, but I won't. Barry was great. However, I am so tired of hearing how I was the reason that Barry Sanders never won a Super Bowl, Mitchell added. I'm so tired of hearing how I was not a good quarterback. My only response is, fuck you all. That includes Eminem and Jeff Daniels. The documentary examines a prolific career that lacked playoff success and ended with an abrupt retirement in 1998. Some, including Detroit residents like Daniels and Eminem, lamented that the Lions' postseason failures in part was because of the lack of a great quarterback to play alongside Sanders. The film, though, did go beyond questioning the quarterback position and focused on the overall lack of support around Sanders. Mitchell landed with the Lions before the 1994 season after 7 impressive games, filling in for an injured Dan Marino on the Dolphins. You ever, be reading and then it just, everything moves on you? And you suddenly lose your spot as to where you were? Yeah, that just happened to me. And then when you go to tap something else, you end up clicking on a goddamn Saks Fifth Avenue ad. The juice is not worth the squeeze. I can't do it. I'm hovering my thumb over where it says read more, and the space between the tip of my thumb and the actual screen is maybe a millimeter. All I have to do is go like that. And in the time it takes me to start thinking about the movement, to actually executing the thumb movement to the screen, it moves, and the ad is now what I'm going to click. I click the Saks Fifth Avenue, and it says, hey, get these shoes. Fuck! I hate that. It's not your fault, Chris. All right. Thank you if you're enjoying the show on Facebook, X, and YouTube. X, did you hear that? It's like Elon Musk is, everybody's giving him shit. There's that Media Matters, which is like a watchdog group or some shit, whatever the fuck that means, has said that he loves Adolf Hitler or some shit. And now everybody is pulling their ads from X because Elon Musk loves Adolf Hitler. And I don't know that he does. It's just what everybody's saying. He's like, he hates Jews. He's anti-Semitic, and he loves Hitler, and he's a Nazi. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for following the show on Facebook, X, and YouTube. But the whole show is on Twitch, so that's where you want to watch. So don't ever click anymore on Facebook, X, or YouTube. Go to Twitch, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Create a username for yourself so that you can comment along with us and have a good time and talk about the fun things that we talk about and enjoy the show that way. Live every day, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern. So, you can actually get it in your car through your Bluetooth. Just dim the screen. It's just like a fucking radio show minus the commercials. It's like a radio show minus the entertainment. Twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live, or download the Twitch app today and search Eric Zane Live, all one word. Audio podcast, wherever you download shows, which has the show notes, which has my great recipes that I just mentioned when the show is published shortly after this gets done. I have a Patreon where there is tons more content for you. If 2 hours of me doing my thing here every day is like, hey, I could stand to listen to more every day. I've got a lot of time to kill at work. I wish it was more. I put hours and hours of content up there each and every week. In fact, next week, getting back to Who Are These Free Beers, where Ben Glaze and myself review the world-famous Free Beer and Hot Wings show. Who Are These Justins is dead until Justin decides to get off his narrow ass and do some more shows. I think we killed him. Patreon is free for 7 days. Go to Patreon, patreon.com/Eric Zane. All right. Referring to the ads jumping around on the mobile app when you're trying to read a story, Corey says that's intentional. I know it is. But people who aren't old and feeble don't fall for it. I do. That's how they get you, as they say. All right. Thank you, Facebook, X, and YouTube.